let's have a look at this thing. So this is Warroom 2, which is a big improvement over Warroom 1 for those of you who remember it. And I had a request to go through and explain a little bit about how this thing works for new players, so here we go. The first thing you're going to notice is that my Warroom does not necessarily look like your Warroom. If you want to change your background, you can go up here, you click on the wheel, you hit background, and you can change your background. I go with the black background because it theoretically saves me a little bit of battery life. The other thing you really want to do is you want to click on this 15 FPS. It'll be at 30 FPS at the default, and you want 15 FPS, and this is going to save you a ton of battery life. If you're losing all of your battery in 1 or 2 games, check and see if this has changed or not. These things down at the bottom, the far left one here is a tab where you can look at all the different cards in the game that you've got unlocked. I don't have Infernals unlocked yet because I haven't needed them. And you can click on a faction. You can filter it if you look at the top by what you have, owned, unowned, painted, or unpainted. You can include alternate history casters from leagues and stuff. You can include steamroller objectives or valid mercenary cards, which I always check. This is a new device, so I haven't yet. Hit apply, and then you can look at all the warcasters and look at the card. Swipe to see the new stuff or the other cards if they've got them. You can hit collapse all, which is really convenient because like half the time my screens look like this. And you can just check everything out. You can look at the card, you can see everything that it does, and then you can go back up here and you can be like, I want to look at circle stuff instead. And same thing, which is really convenient. The back button's on the bottom left corner, and that's what the far left one looks like cards does. The middle one of these icons down here in the middle is the plus and minus thing, and this is your collection editor. First time you go through it, it'll tell you everything that it can do, and you just get to add to your collection. So I've got one of him, and I've got one of him, and I've got a painted one of those, and a painted one of those, etc., etc., etc. And it saves it, and then you can filter by collection, which is pretty cool. And then over here, this last little book thing is the rules digest, and if you haven't downloaded the PDF, it'll ask you to do that. And you can also search by term. So, for example, if I wanted to look at charge, I'd look at C, and then I go down, scroll down until I get to charge, and then it takes me to the correct page in the rule book, and you can pinch to zoom in or to zoom out. And you can search inside of the document by clicking on the spy glasses, but yep, that's what that is. Over on the bottom right is the 3 lines. This is where you log in, log out. You can use pre-Oblivion themes if you want to do that for some reason. Question mark is the help thing. I don't ever touch this because it's super annoying to tab through all of these. And then you can submit bugs down here in the bottom. So the 2 important screens are build an army, go to war. So we're going to build an army real quick. I've got 2 lists already built. We're going to build a new army. Gee, I don't know. What should I build an army in? Let's build a Grimkin army, sure. So you tap up there in the enter army name spot to add your name. I'm going to be building a heretic bump in the night list. And then you can tag it. Tags are little things that you can add to a list to be like, I'm thinking about this for this tournament, or I've got this crazy idea that I think is really bad, so I'm just going to label as jank or something. This is going to be, I don't know, so I'm going to make a new tag, call it tournaments, hit enter, there's the new tag, and I can go to here and select it. It's already selected as a current tag. You can limit it to own things or painted things. Using steamroller rules, I really suggest, because it'll let you put objectives in there. We are not using specialists because pretty much nobody does. And I'm building a standard 75-point list here. And then I hit create. Now over here on the left, and if this is a phone, you're not going to see the stuff over here on the right-hand side of the screen. You're just going to see these things. To get to your list after you add something to it, we're building a heretic list, you swipe and it will take you over to this side of the screen. You might want to look over here because there's themes. That's the big T, and it says no theme selected. I'm going to select Bump in the Night because that's the theme force I'm using. It tells you everything that's in it. If you look at it again, it tells you what you can bring, which is pretty actually redundant because as you click on tabs over here, it shows you what you're allowed to bring for it or not. You can bring you can choose friendly. This is a really terrible example army actually, because Grim can only have some friendly cards. But you can choose which friendly mercenary unit and or solo you're going to bring. I'm going to bring the Hermit because he's going in all of my lists right now. And then you can also click on the select requisition cards thing, and then you can bring in these guys, and these are basically free things, and you just hit the plus button. So I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use yet because I haven't exactly figured out this list in my head. I'm just going to, we'll get there. Probably it'll end up being like 2 Malady Men because they're expensive, and Longfellow because he's also expensive, but we'll see. So in this list, I'm going to start off with my battle group. To do that, you hit the paperclip button on the Warlock's card tab thing, and it pulls up your options. I'm bringing Baron Tuglik because he's awesome, and because this is a bump in the night list, I'm bringing 2 Clockatrices, and I think that's it. Although if I have space for a Gorehound, that'd be sweet. We'll try it. And then I'm going to go over here to units, and I know I'm bringing a unit of Hollowmen, and then same thing over here. See how there's this like gear-like thing on the box? If you click on it, you can change the configuration to maximum or minimum, and you can hit the attach button and get your attachments. And I'm adding the Lantern Man and Hollow Holden. If you look up at the top, it tells you how many points you have left. 28 out of 75 is how many I've used. I guess I should say it tells you how many you've used. And it tells you how many of your requisition points you've used, and I've used none of them yet because I don't know what I'm doing. I am going to bring 2 units of Nayslayers, and if I hit the plus button, it gives me 2 options, either the small unit or the big unit, and I'm choosing the big unit both times, and I'm going to attach their command attachments because it seems like a good thing to do. And I think that's all I'm going to bring for units. Now, I'm not going to bring Malady Men because I'm going to bring them as requisition options, and let's just do that right now. I'm going to go to requisition, that's at the top here, and I'm going to click on Malady Men Plus and Malady Men Plus, and then we're going to look down, and there's our Malady Men here at the bottom. It says uses requisition point, and if you look at the top, it says 2 out of 3 requisition points used. I have 15 points left, so we're going to go over here. We're going to select the Hermit because he's going in the list for sure. I really like Grave Ghouls, so we're going to get 2 of those, and I've got 2 points left, so we're going to spend those on... Oh, but I really need... Okay, Gorehound's out. Okay, so the Gorehound's out, and we're getting a Madcap unit, and then we're going to bring 2 Cast Imps because they'll explode for the Grave Ghouls, and then we're going to go back up to requisition cards, and I can either bring 2 Trapikins or Lord Longfellow, and meta dependent. I'm going to bring Longfellow because he's cool. So if you look up at the top now, we've got 75 out of 75 points in our army. We've used all 3 of our requisition points. If you add more things, it will let you, but it'll turn the number up at the top right red and say, look, you've got too many things until you get rid of it. From here, you really want to go down to the 3 lines on the bottom right-hand side. Click Save Your Army. You can also go to here and click Copy Army Text, and what that will do is it will copy it to your clipboard, and then you can paste it into another app. This is how I send Chandler endless lists for him to go, no, this is still bad. And then that's pretty much it. If you hit the back button now, as you look at your sorted list, there it is right there. I can click on it and it pops it right back up. And then I'm going to go back to the main screen and hit the Go to War button. And now I've got lists from previous games. I'm just going to delete these real fast. You want Create Local Match. Creating an online match is complicated and annoying, and I don't like doing it. I'll show you how it works in just a second, but we're going to go to Create Local Match because it's important for this. Then you click on that, you add army, and I'm going to add the army I just built. There it is. Now, it's really important. You can't actually interact with this in a meaningful way. And by meaningful, I mean you can't change health and stuff. You can still look at the cards until you hit the play button. And from here, you can see a summary of what the card does if you click on anywhere on the line where it is. And you can scroll up and down with that, or you can click on the picture and it will pull up the actual card itself. If you want to mark health, a lot of people go to the card and start trying to click on the health bar. You have to hit the heart underneath the number of boxes it's got. And this is a really nice little interface. You can either click 1 dot at a time, or, and I'm going to hit the top button here that resets it, or you can select the column you want and hit the plus button, or you can select the column you want and scroll this wheel down here at the bottom is what I'm doing. I'm scrolling along these like vertical lines underneath. And if you accidentally click the wrong column, say it said 8 to the 4 instead of 8 to the 6, before I hit accept or commit, I can click on the 4 and it will change it to there. By hitting commit, I stay on this screen, but I lock those values in. If I hit accept, it puts that away. So if somebody's attacking your model with lots of attacks, it's better to just hit commit repeatedly so that you can keep seeing it. Other little interesting things about this screen, the Go to War screen, if you hit the 3 lines at the top, it'll show you can reset your model's hit points. If you click on the line at the top, it will show you your theme force if you're ever curious about what your benefits are. And then you can also, if you hit the fanned out cards on the bottom, you can look at any other card in the game. Same thing as the other screen, you just cycle between them like this. And if you really, really want to like have them in your list for something, like just to refer to them quickly, you can hit plus. And then if you scroll down and see how he's in there now, I've completely screwed up my list, but that's okay because as soon as I hit reset army, he's gone. And then I hit play again. You can look up the rules from in army by hitting the book again. I guess you can edit your collection in mid-game, although I'm not sure why you'd ever want to. I think that might be a new feature. And there's still the bug for reporting, the question mark for showing the rules. And then you can use a timer or add a reference army or remove selected card or reset the match to base. Or you can even turn off your sleep in match, which I don't recommend doing because it will drain your battery a lot. So that's a local game. Creating an online match is a process. You have to be connected to Wi-Fi, and it creates an online match. And then it gives you a unique name up there at the top, and then you can add your army just like normal. And then if your opponent has a Warroom device, they can go to join online match, and they enter the match name, so you have to tell them that, and then they hit OK, and you can both see each other's army then. I don't see this done a whole lot in tournaments. There's not usually a good Wi-Fi connection, and there's a tendency for the game to crash, and if this crashes in a tournament, you lose. So, yeah, bad times. I think that's it. Let me think if there's any other tricks. Oh, when I reset my army, sometimes what I also do real quick before I play that game is I go back to the main screen and I build my opponent's army. So say I'm playing against this Jalam list. And then when I go to war, I can add another army and I can add his list in, and then I can hit play. And as I scroll down, there's the list I'm playing. There's the list I'm playing against. And I can just click on it and see what every single thing does, and I don't have to ask as many questions. Which is really nice for planning my turn on his turn, or making sure that that they're like not moving too far, or if they're shorting themselves things. I've been looking through people's armies a few times, and people are like, I move 5 inches. And I go, but you're speed 6. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. Look at your card. So, yep, it's a good thing to do. Oh, Battle Boar's a Fury 3. Who knew? I've been shorting myself in attack. Cool. Anyway, I think this is it for our Warroom tutorial. I can't think of anything else you'll actually need to use. If you need to buy something, you can go to this. You can view the store, and there's all the different things that you can do. And I need to buy the Infernals deck still, obviously. If you haven't downloaded the PDF already, by clicking on download PDF there, it won't show you the rule book when you go to use it. So make sure that's happened. If you really need to update your thing, you can check for updates here. You can switch to Company of Iron if you wish, although I don't know why you would, unless you are, and it shows you in the bottom right hand corner you've switched back to Company of Iron mode, and here's Warmachine mode. It's the green one. Hope that was useful, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.